welcome everyone, and hello, my name is Dr. Adila Rafiz. If you are new, if you have not met me before, if you do not know what body whispering is, a very, very, very warm welcome to you. And if you are very familiar with me and body whispering, a very warm welcome to you too. We are doing this call today so that we can all jump into this body whispering energy. We can learn more about what's available for us, what's available for our lives, what's available when it comes to that next step or stage of growth, healing, evolution, embodying our greatness and our potential. All these things that body whispering can help with, does help with, and continues to help in so many areas. Body whispering is called body whispering not because it's limited to the body, not because it is just about physical ailments or changing physical conditions, even though it definitely does that. It's called body whispering because our medium of experience here is that we are in a body. And so we are experiencing life through this vessel. And everything that we experience, whether it's the thoughts that we have that's created by our mind or our brains, whether it's the physical sensations, the pleasure, the pain, the illness, the experiences we have at a physical level that we have in our bodies, or whether we realize that we are greater than just the physical limitations, and that we are here to be present in our bodies while accessing a whole lot of amazing information, intuitive ways of being, and creating whatever it is that you want to experience while you're here in this lifetime. Body whispering is about connecting and bringing all of those things together and helping you have a really empowered, a very conscious way of experiencing embodiment, where it's not just one or the other, and where also the body is important. In fact, it's really important, and it is such a gift. And we don't focus on just spiritual or energetic work. And we also don't focus on just the body and just changing things at a physical level. We bring it all together so we can have our greatest sense of embodiment and really have this awareness and realization of how powerful we are, how many things we are capable of, and basically how to be unlimited, even though for most of us, our whole lives, in some way or the other, the messaging is always about the limitations that we need to experience in our life. So that's a very brief introduction to what body whispering is. It's a technique or modality as well as a way of living or life. So yes, there is a body whispering process. Yes, we do these sessions called body whispering, which we do on clients, we do on family members, we can do them in person or via distance. And there's also this whole learning and this whole stepping into this being able to hear and use the whispers to create your life, to be present in your life, and to realize how gifted you are, how aware you are, how psychic you are, how unlimited you are. And so body whispering is such a gift. It has been such a gift in my life. My life is very, very different to probably what I would have thought it would be if I hadn't started following the whispers, if I hadn't backed myself and trusted this information and this way of being. What's really exciting now, though, is it's not just about me. It's about seeing how many people's lives have changed and continue to change around the world. There's now hundreds and hundreds of people that have done a body whispering class. And we now have facilitators who are facilitating their own classes, and their participants are experiencing the miracles of body whispering. So this is not something that only works for some people and not others. This is also not something that is difficult or hard. In fact, the beauty of body whispering is how easy it is. And it can actually seem like it's too easy. Like, that's so easy, I don't think that's going to work. When you first kind of get into the class, the concepts, when you start getting into the manual, you think, yeah, at one level, this all seems too simplistic. And then as you start to unfold that information, and as you start to embody that information and integrate that information and that energy, you start to see the genius behind it. You start to realize how powerful it is and how powerful you are, which is the whole point of it, because it's bringing you back to you and what is true for you. It's bringing you back to reminding you why you are here in a body. You didn't come here to be in pain. You didn't come here to be limited. You didn't come here to cry about money your whole life, or to spend your whole life feeling like you were just going to be at the effect of what everyone else around you was going to do to you, what your work was going to decide, how much you were worthy of being paid, what your loved ones were going to decide, how much love you were worthy of. No, that's not why you are here. But we forget that. And so body whispering brings us back to actually remembering and actually living in a way where we experience more of that unlimited nature of what is true for us. And if we give ourselves the things that we require, just like in nature, you'll have a plant thrive and take over. You know, we call it going wild. When something goes wild in nature, it's almost like a bad thing, because you go, oh, that plant's gone wild, it's taken over everything else. But we have that same capacity. If you give us the things that will allow us to thrive, we will go wild in a good way, and we will outcreate any environment, any inhibition, anything that had been limiting us and making us think that we were not enough. So body whispering has so many gifts to give, so many benefits, in actually so many ways that it interacts with you, that it can help you create your life, whether it is a physical thing that you want to change, whether it's an emotional thing, whether it's a financial thing. I always bring it back to this stuff, because as much as it's nice to think about being unlimited and evolved and to access the highest levels of consciousness, most of us want to change some pretty practical things in our life, right? I've worked with over 10,000 people around the world personally. I've done over 10,000 sessions, probably more by now. I haven't counted the last year. And most people want to change a physical thing or a medical thing in their body, or they want to change a relationship or a situational issue going on in their life or in their family, or they want to change their money or financial experiences. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's the stuff that contributes to creating our experience of life. And it's what contributes to creating our quality of life. And how body whispering works, how actually any level of empowerment work or awareness work works, is as you realize that you can have that change and you experience your life getting better, then you're inspired to reach for more change and more betterment and more change and more change. And as you start making these changes, you then actually start seeking to create change and to look at how you can make your life even greater. Because somewhere along that journey, you make that switch from feeling like you're limited, you're the victim, that you just need to change this one situation so at least your life can be a little bit easier or not as hard, to then realizing, actually, I can change almost anything. In fact, I can change anything. And I'm not going to stop with the limitations I want to change. I'm actually going to now start creating the things that I wish to experience, the things that I wish to have. And that's when life gets really exciting. That's when life gets really exciting. That's when life starts to feel really good. And that's when life starts to become really miraculous. So no matter where you are in your journey today, right now, whether you are just starting out on this journey of empowerment, evolution, realizing that you want to change something, or whether you have been doing self-help, healing, personal development work for years, there is still something that you probably want or are looking for, or that you think could contribute to you. And what I'm here to do is to help you get there. Because there is no one that I have come across so far that I cannot help unless they really didn't want me to help, okay? And there's actually nothing that is unchangeable if we're willing to really look at what's required and how we could change it. And the thing I love about body whispering is it's easy. Like I said, it's easy because it incorporates mind, body, and energy. So you're not just working at one level of change, you're working at all three levels of change. And at the same time, though, you do not have to spend years and years in talk therapy or years and years trying to change something energetically and then trying to change something physically and then wondering if you're there yet or not. Okay, body whispering is this energy that makes it seem really easy for you to create big change. And I'm living proof of that. So I can talk to you more about that. But what I'm really interested in is hearing more from you guys, especially if you don't know a lot about body whispering or you're new. And welcome to all of our people who are on our translated calls. A very warm welcome. And as I said, I would love to answer your questions. So you can either type into the chat or you can raise your hand and I'll call on you if you had a question about how to change something or how body whispering could contribute to changing that. And in the meantime, and I'll let you guys start typing in your questions into the chat if you have them. Translators, let me know if you have questions. In the meantime, for those of you that don't know me and don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Adela Afees. I'm from New Zealand originally, and I spent a lot of time working around the world, and I have been trained in many modalities, many healing techniques. As a starting point, I am trained as a counselor, as a chiropractor, as a kinesiologist, and as a practitioner. And I have gone on to not only create body whispering and business whispering, and now the Life Whispering Institute. So we are now certifying practitioners around the world and creating practitioners, advanced practitioners, and then facilitators, so that there's now facilitators doing body whispering classes like me all over the world. But one of the things that was important for me on my journey was realizing that it was okay for me to follow the whispers. So you guys at this point, if you don't know what body whispering is, you're like, okay, so what is this whispering thing? What are these whispers? And if you have always had this internal knowing or this pull towards certain things, or this sensation in your body, or this thought at the back of your mind that you never listened to enough because you did not prioritize what you knew, because it's all about prioritizing people outside of us, right? So listening to your parents, listening to teachers, listening to mentors, even our colleagues, our friends, our peer group. It's not okay to stand out and be different, especially the younger you are, or the less you know yourself, the less times you've experienced trusting yourself. We defer to trusting others, trusting outside of us. And actually, the whole world is created like this. Everyone else is an expert, but no one tells you to be the expert. And even our systems are set up like this. The education system, the medical system, it's all set up to make someone else the authority in your life. Someone else is the authority about your body. Someone else knows better about what you need to learn and how to learn it and how to test you on that learning. Someone else is creating the rules and the regulations and what is acceptable for you or not acceptable for you when it comes to how to live your life. And I used to be a very, very compliant person. Okay, I'm what you call a highly compliant patient or a highly compliant person, meaning I always did well. I always did well in school. I was very academic. I have done too many years to count of even tertiary education to get all my qualifications. I'm someone who would do what a doctor told me to, or a nurse told me to, or a professional told me to, without questioning it, because that's what we are taught and told. And depending on your cultural background or the country you're raised in or the family you're raised in, you're going to have even higher levels of that being instilled in you. And so to go from that kind of background to starting to realize that this still wasn't working. I still was not happy. Okay, after doing everything that was meant to make me happy, after studying for over 8 years to become a chiropractor, getting my dream job in a clinic and all of this stuff and making everyone proud and doing everything well, the feeling was like, is this it? And on the other side of that, what I had always had this awareness of, or the feelings of, was even from high school, I would always say like, oh, I'm going to travel the world and I'm going to work overseas and I'm going to teach, even though I didn't become a teacher. So I didn't know how that was going to work, could not make that connection, but it's something I would say. And when it got to the scary part of needing to start following the whispers, needing to start doing the things that my body was telling me that my soul was taking me towards, that meant doing things that feel uncomfortable. Because it sounds good on the outside, right? Follow your bliss, do what you want, be free, all of that cool stuff. Go travel around the world, all of that stuff. But in reality, when it means leaving everything and everyone you know, when it means your parents, your family, other people not understanding what you're doing or why you're doing it, when it means people telling you that that's not what you're meant to be doing or how you're meant to do it, and making you feel like you could never be successful doing this stuff because this is not the model that we are meant to be following, it's difficult to trust yourself. And this is where body whispering comes in, because we all have the whispers. Okay, I've never met anyone who does not get the whispers. We all receive the whispers. But the difference becomes we have varying degrees of being willing to listen to or hear the whispers, and then following that up with actually trusting ourselves enough to act on that information and take the actionable steps that creates the change that we want. And so the body whispering class, first and foremost, there's so much advanced stuff in that class I could talk to you about for ages. Yes, you will learn how to do body work. Yes, you will do swaps. Yes, you will learn so much. But first and foremost, it's about learning to trust yourself, learning to hear those whispers, and learning to create the life that you want, that makes you happy. Remembering that you are the authority in your life, that you get to decide what feels good to you, that you get to break out all of the indoctrination that you may have been living under for however many years that you have been alive. And trusting yourself, coming back to yourself, your true self, and feeling confident, feeling happy, and feeling empowered about being who you are. And that is the consistent feedback that we receive about body whispering classes. On top of everything else, the thing that I hear the most, and is actually my favorite thing to hear, is people saying, I've done so many other things, and this is the first time I feel like I truly connected to or found myself. And I felt confident in who I was. Because body whispering only works when we're actually listening to the whispers of our own body, of our own being, of our own soul. It doesn't work when we're trying to listen to everyone else's and trying to make everyone else happy. And yet the level of freedom that we receive and empowerment that we receive when we finally listen to our whispers is what creates the changes that you've been asking for. You want more money? Become confident in who you are. You want to heal your body? Stop pushing down all of the resentment and all of the fear and all of the unworthiness that you have not been willing to look at your whole life. You want to change your relationship? Let's start working on the relationship with yourself. If you don't love and honor yourself first, no one else can do that for you. So this is how body whispering starts to create change in any and all areas of your life.
We have a couple of questions.
Yes, go for it.
So Samira asks that she's applied this.
Samira,
Hiba, do you want to do a translation of it? Okay. So
yes,
Samira, okay, cool.
Okay, Adila, Samira asked about, she is a diabetic and she have been using this technique throughout the last month, and she has, there is no change in her medical issue till now.
Okay. How long does she think it took to create diabetes in her body?
سميرة، انت تفتكري انت اخدتي قد ايه او الوقت اللي فات عشان تخلقي مرض السكر في جسدك؟
15 years so far.
Okay. So the thing about symptoms and the thing about medical conditions is they actually come last. They're at the top of the iceberg, right? And that 15 years of what it took to finally get to the point where your body became so resistant to insulin and not being able to regulate insulin, when you went to the doctor and he finally said, oh, you've got diabetes. I'm assuming it's type 2 diabetes, right? And so now you have a label, now you have a term, and now maybe you're on medication that you have to take daily. And yes, you've been doing body whispering sessions maybe every day for a month, and you're thinking, oh, it still hasn't changed. But the thing with creating change is that unfortunately, works backwards. So it took so long for everything to build up for you to then get the tip of that iceberg, which is the diagnosis that we get. And then when we're creating change, it works in that same way, is that at a cellular level, what is changing? At a molecular level, what is changing? How is your body regenerating? How is it learning to create a different way of being after taking 15 years to create and develop diabetes? So when people say that to me, and I understand the frustration when you think it's not working, but in my experience, it's never that it's not working. It's actually that you haven't looked a little bit outside and looked at, okay, even though that immediate obvious problem is still there, what's different around my body and my life? And the more you start to receive those changes and the more you continue to work and trust and listen to those whispers, and actually listen to those whispers. So when your body tells you to eat in a certain way, if you actually do it, and when it tells you to exercise, if you actually do it, when it tells you to stop thinking the toxic things you continue to think, if you actually start changing those things, yes, your diabetes will go away. And that's a really bold statement to make. So that is not, of course, I have to give you a disclaimer and say you can't, that's not a result that I can guarantee. But the reason I can say that so confidently is because it happens all the time. We see it all the time in our classes. And sometimes it is instant, but it's instant when people are really ready for that change and to then continue in that direction of change. So yes, spontaneous healing is always available, but it actually takes, it's harder in some ways. It's harder because your level of trust and faith needs to go beyond a medical diagnosis that you might have had for years and a way of functioning that is your comfort zone. So my advice to you, Samira, is to continue the body whispering, continue trusting that it is helping your body, it is helping your health, and that it is changing, and start to look for the other changes aside from the obvious thing and your diagnosis going away. Do you have more energy? Are you sleeping better? Do you feel like you're eliminating toxins better? Do you feel more at peace? Do you feel more connected to your true self? And the more you focus on that stuff and start to acknowledge and receive more and more from this work, then the other stuff can start to change too.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, I see
Adila, I have another question with an Arabic participant at the Arabic Doom. She asked about, she wanted to trust her work more. She asked about the results that she have to receive in order to trust the sessions and trust the work and to prove to other people that this modality is working very well.
Mm-hmm. Is she talking about body whispering?
Yes.
Okay. So body whispering works. Here's the thing. This is what I teach in class as well. Trust the work. Don't make it about you. Because what we don't trust is ourselves. So you know body whispering works because you attended a class and you probably, I'm assuming you attended it with Hiba. She knows body whispering works. She attended a class with me. I know body whispering works. The work works. And if we trust the work, we can actually allow it to work to an even greater potential. what happens is we get caught up in our minds about us. Am I doing a good enough job? Am I going to get results? Is this going to work for this client? Are they going to think I'm good at what I do? Are they going to think I'm worth the amount of money that they paid for their session? And that is what creates the lack of confidence and the lack in general, right? When we're functioning from like, even if I do it, if I went into a body whispering session going, oh, I hope this works. I hope that they get a good result. I hope I can prove that I'm worthy and good enough. And I hope that I don't get it wrong. And I focus on the lack. What do we know about energy and the universe? What does the universe respond to? What you put out there is what you get back, right? Your point of view creates your reality. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Okay, so I never go into a session trying to prove or trying to fix or trying to make sure that I get the right result. And the more complicated the case is, or the bigger the deal is, or the more important VIP client it is, the more I get into the space of not trying to prove and not needing to create an outcome, because then I'm not leaving room for the work to work. So put your trust in the work, spend more time reading all of the testimonials about body whispering, talking to Hiva about body whispering, talking to your participants and fellow practitioners. Really believe in the miracle that the work creates. Don't make it about yourself or needing to prove. And then you will start getting these amazing results. And without asking, people will tell you amazing things. And they will get results that you were not focusing on, which will be even more surprising. And then you will start to have that body of evidence for yourself. And then you will start to trust yourself even more. And that is how you do it. And if you have just done this class recently, then please don't even worry about judging yourself or needing to be good for the first, however many months or the first 100 sessions. Just be like, I'm just going to do it and see what it creates.
Adila, there is another feedback from another participant from the last class at the last week. She said that she has an issue in her eye, in her two eyes, and it was very unnatural, and it's very she was very upset of it all the day. And after 4 sessions of body whispering, thanks God, it all stopped. There is nothing in her two eyes. With a lot of exclamation marks.
Thank you for sharing. That's really fantastic. That's awesome. Oh, Hiba, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I see someone has their hand up. Nagla, sorry if I'm not saying that correctly.
نجلة، هل حابة إن أنتِ تتكلمي؟ No, she is in another. She is in the Arabic Zoom with a.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Okay,
you wanna hear both of the 2 Zooms.
I love it. Okay,
she is very grateful for you. This is the first time in her life that she is connected to her body, and she has the sense of communion with her body. It's a very effective way to connect to her body.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. Cool. I do want to talk about a few more things, but I want to just address a few practicalities. So The body whispering class initially is a 2-day class. So if you haven't done a class before, if you're wondering about becoming a body whisperer, you do this 2-day class. And the next one coming up is on the 26th and 27th of March. So it's not this weekend, it's next weekend. And in that 2-day class, there's facilitation for you. So how do you change your life? How do you change your body? How do you change your health, wealth, and happiness? And you also learn the body whispering process. So then you use that process on yourself. You also learn how to do it on other people. And in the class, we pair you up in an online class, you do distance swaps. And I will also teach you how to do sessions for people in person. So we have people who are very, very highly trained practitioners from many modalities who come and learn body whispering, and they add it to the modalities they already practice. Or we have people who have never practiced a modality before and they learn it for the first time, and they learn it for themselves. They start a business with it. They use it with their friends and family. What you can do with body whispering is unlimited. But there's a lot that we pack in to that 2-day class. And then, yes, it goes on to the advanced practitioner class, which is a 3.5-day class. And then the advanced practitioners can choose to go on to become facilitators, which is a 4.5-day class. And along the way, there's lots of training. We actually have practitioner meetings. We have a practitioner WhatsApp group. So it's not like you do the class and then you're left to your own devices if you're looking for more support or information. We actually continue to support our practitioners, and we continue to help you receive more out of body whispering, because as most of you would know, if you've done other things before, you don't receive the most change necessarily in that first 24 hours. Like 2 months down the track, you realize your whole life has changed. And then you might have some different questions, and we have the space for that, because then we have meetings, we have the WhatsApp group, you're always connected. I call body whisperers like the body whispering family, because it very much is that vibe. It's a really sweet group of people because it's this very nurturing kind energy that contributes to us and our lives and contributes to the world that we wish to create. So we will post that link to that class if anyone wants to join. And if you have any particular questions about the class, please let me know. And Neethu's saying body whispering is the only modality that she connected with instantly and myself. Thank you much, Neethu. That's a beautiful thing to hear. Thank you so much. How has body whispering helped me in my career as a doctor? Well, I do not think I would be here with my own modality and my own institute, living a life where I have unlimited resources, unlimited possibility, and I'm living the dream. Okay, I'm living the dream. And the things that body whispering has created, like the way it's created, and we've just bought all of this land for the Body Whispering Institute, and we're going to start now creating the live venues. The first one's here in New Zealand, where I currently am. And that's not going to be the end of it either. Like, we have this massive vision for what this is. And people don't just wake up and think that that stuff is normal or possible for them, especially in the medical profession. Like, yes, you can be a doctor. Yes, you can go on and have your clinic. I had a clinic. And the medical community is actually quite limiting. There's quite a few rules. You need to kind of do what everyone else is doing. And your clinic is a physical location, right? So your clients come to you in person. That's changed a little bit with COVID. But I had to go through this stuff pre-COVID, okay? So the years before COVID, I had to realize that if I wanted to grow, I needed to get out of the limited ways of functioning that I had been trained in, where my only clients or patients were the people who could come see me physically, normally within a 10, 15 kilometer radius. So I now work globally. I have trained so many other practitioners around the world. I have people working with me who I have never met in real life, in countries I've never been to, even in languages that I cannot speak. That's quite a miracle to me. And that's how body whispering has contributed to my work as a doctor and in my personal life. Everything I do is body whispering. And the more body whispering you do, so as you become a practitioner and then you start to become, you realize that this is something you can do every day. It's not just about when you're in a session is when you're body whispering. No, it's like in your day-to-day life, you're listening to the whispers all of the time. And you start to realize that you start to just do it automatically. And it starts creating your life with you and leading you to places you wouldn't have gone, which creates possibilities you couldn't have imagined, which creates what you wanted so much quicker and so much easier than you had expected. And I experienced that across all areas of my life. And I think my life has changed so much financially as well because of this work. I was definitely a healer with a healing complex about money. So for those of you that know about healers not being good with money or not liking to charge money, I was definitely one of those people. So we actually have so much information about money and business now that we have the business whispering class. And so we had to create a whole other 2-day class called business whispering, not because I necessarily I never thought actually I would do that. So that's how body whispering created that. But all of this information, all of this practical knowledge and application that works, because I'm proof that it works, but also all the other people that have used body and business whispering to create their lives, create their businesses, are proof that it works. And so we have these modalities that if I hadn't followed the whispers, they wouldn't be here. So I don't know what I'd be doing. I don't know how happy I would be or fulfilled I would be. But I can very honestly say I feel like I have the best job in the world. And I'm very, very happy and blessed. So I love sharing that empowerment with other people, no matter how unhappy, sick, disempowered you may feel right now, bad with money, in debt, whatever it is, you can love your life. And you start by trusting yourself and trusting the whispers. Okay, so yes, as Rashmi was saying in the chat, so when you do the 2-day class, you can do one-on-one sessions in person or via distance, paid, free, however you want to do it. When you become an advanced practitioner, one of the things we train you in and that you can add to your practice is being able to do group sessions. The energy of a group session is quite different to one-on-one. It's why you need to do like that next level of training. Our group sessions are unlimited in size. So you could do it for 2 people or you could do it for 2,000 people. You're not limited in how many people in your group once you become an advanced practitioner. So that's that next step. And then once you're a facilitator, you facilitate the 2-day classes that I'm teaching, you facilitate focus classes that I do, you can do intros, you can do group sessions, you can do the whole shebang. And I'm very excited to support you in the creation of your business as a facilitator because I just think this stuff is changing the world, and I want you to do as much of it as possible. Okay, any other questions, comments, or queries?
Lena and a couple more want to know.
Oh, Sarah, go for it. Oh, sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
Oh, sorry, what?
Sorry.
Sarah, you go and then Rashmi.
Okay, thanks. Just about the logistics of, I'm just realizing as I'm asking you this is probably in my manual from the session, from when I did the weekend with you. But the next, like I've done one course, as you know, and one of the questions I have is there sort of a number of practice sessions or swaps that you suggest or recommend for people who are brand new to body whispering before, if they're perhaps feeling a bit nervous or not super confident with it, before they would offer it to paid clients? Do you have any guidelines with that? I know people can do it straight away if they feel comfortable. I'm just wondering if you have any suggestions.
No, I do say in the class to do like 10 to 20 swaps within your group. I mean, we do a lot of swaps in the class, right? And then you have your body whispering practitioners group. And I say, do at least 10 sessions in there to get your confidence up, but there's no limitation to when you can start doing paid sessions.
Okay. And would you suggest, because what is the next level of like certification or qualification after that first weekend that you do?
The advanced practitioner. So you do 2 body whispering classes to then attend the advanced practitioner class, which is called the certified practitioner class. So that class then goes into advanced concepts of healing, like working more with abuse, trauma, going more into depth around the things that clients will come to you with, and making you more well-rounded in your theoretical, like cognitive information and knowledge, as well as your practical application. So I like to give our class participants and clients cognitive information because I believe it's part of healing. Yes, energy work is wonderful, healing work is great, but if you don't have an understanding, or you don't feel like a practitioner can meet you where you're at, talk to you in a way that makes you feel like they understand what's going on for you and how you got there, then your confidence isn't as high in receiving from that. So the advanced class goes into training you to that degree as practitioners. And then, as I said, it teaches you in depth how to do a group session, holding the energy for multiple people at once instead of just a one-on-one.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And last quick one is just about when you talk about practice sessions and you recommend, say, 10 to 20, would that be a similar recommendation for, like, if I wanted to do another weekend of it, which I do, would you recommend perhaps getting 10 to 20 practice sessions in before I do another course, like to get some practice before? Would that be a good idea?
No, because the class is your training ground. So the class is your playground. So there's no requirements or kind of recommendations for getting into class. It's more what you want to do after or in between classes to progress further. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, Rashmi, go ahead.
Adila, Lena, and a couple more want to know any experience with body whispering and schizophrenia.
Yeah, so body whispering with mental health across the board is super helpful because it creates presence in the body. So what can we kind of gather about mental health is there is not a lot of presence in the body, right? And that mental health has really deteriorated, but it's actually creating a whole lot of problems because we are all in the mind. And so anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, a lot of that is also taking you very, very focally, like focused on the experiences you're having in your mind at a cognitive level. And then it's creating physiological responses and physical responses. First of all, body whispering energy without anything else is going to help you get more grounded, connected, and present in your body, which facilitates more healing, more ease, and more change. And then if you have someone who's willing and wanting to change that, and that is the key. That is the key with certain things. So addiction is one of them, and then schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, that kind of stuff. If that person truly wants to change this, so they're willing to let go of their out or their coping mechanism, that creates the need for that, then body whispering sessions are really powerful. And I have a lot of information that I can go into in class or at another time, because this is a really in-depth topic. But yeah, my speciality is I really work with that mind-body connection and the neurology of change. Chiropractic focuses hugely on the nervous system, the neurological system. That's what I studied. And then I went on to specialize in the mind, body, and energy and how it all works together. So that's why body whispering creates such effective change, because it's not just working at one level. It's about the information you need cognitively. It's about what the body goes through physiologically. So that's inadvertently without the person controlling it. And then there is what the person is experiencing physically and creating physically and their physical environment. We want to create change at all three levels. Awesome. You're very welcome, Lena. Oh, and I see there's a quick question about addiction. Yeah, so same, Preeti, like addiction, I've worked with it. And the only disclaimer I have is addiction, especially when there's drug or alcohol, like when there's substance abuse or addiction involved, that person has to really want to change. Yes, we've had great results with it, but the rate of success is lower than usual, which is normally really, really high, because in between sessions, if people do not, are still not committed to that, they will relapse. And so that is what I have found. The thing with addiction is normally everyone else wants that person to change. But when that person truly wants to change or heal or get over their addiction, yeah, it's good to go.
Adila, quick question here. So we cannot do for somebody on addiction until unless they are asking us.
You can do it, and you'll notice that it creates more ease for them and that it helps them out for a day or two or an hour or two, depending on what stage or level they're at. What you're going to find is that, you know, they will continuously relapse into their addictive patterns or behaviors because they're not committed to creating change. You're trying to do it for them. And so then you're going to find that, you know, unless you're doing a session every 2 days, it's not really changing. And then you're getting frustrated with that.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you.
Awesome. You're very welcome. Okay, so we're kind of in the last 5 minutes of call time, and I just wanted to, again, thank you all for being here. It's been a super wonderful chat. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope it's like been insightful or contributory. If you have any other questions, please pop them into the chat. If I can't address them now, I'll send out the information later. But I'd love to invite you into the Body Whispering family. Like I said, we have a class coming up. Now, if you haven't experienced a body whispering session before, and if you missed the call I did about a week ago, with everything going on in the world, with the situation with Ukraine, I did a contribution session. So there's not a lot of talking or explaining. It's just getting into the session, experiencing the peace and healing, and that's kind of all it was. But if anyone didn't get that, I'm going to send this replay out because you've all registered for this call, which means I can send you the replay. I'll add in the link for you to watch or listen, experience that session. it will give you a taste of what that body whispering energy feels like, what that body whispering session feels like. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us from all over the world. And I will see you guys soon. And hopefully we'll see you in the body or business whispering class coming up. Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Harish. See you. Bye.